Hey, it's your girl, the melanated high priestess, coming back at you to raise your levels of awareness about things that are going on around us that affect us as a whole collective. So what I want to talk about today is the ban for abortion. Now, my own personal opinion about the matter is I am pro-choice. And the reason why I am pro-choice are for many reasons. One being that you never know a person's financial situation. They may be struggling and not able to bring a child into this world. Or you may have a situation where someone got raped by a stranger or either through incest, because things like that do happen. Or you may have a situation where a woman has complications when it comes to pregnancies that can cause her life to be put at risk and possibly even death. So I think that this is a matter that we really have to not be so close-minded, whether you agree or you don't agree. Because at the end of the day, it's not your place to tell somebody else what they can do with their body or not do with their body. It should be left up to that person. It's your body, your choice, and your body shouldn't be governed by our government. That even opens up a whole new box. And it's not a good box, people, because the minute that we allow our government to tell us what we can do with our bodies, we are going to be in for it. Now, I know a lot of you people have heard about the whole controversy with the implant. Now imagine this, and whether you're a male or a female, think about this. We allow our government to govern our bodies. Then who's to say we won't be forced to get these implants or anything else the government should decide to do? So if you want to give away your rights to your body and be a dumbass, by all means. But those out there that really get it and see the bigger picture, that this is bigger than just the abortion, this is about the fact that our government is trying to govern our bodies. And they should not. That should be our right. These are our bodies. They're already doing enough crap with poisoning us, with our food, with our water, with our air. And you want to give them full control over our bodies? Are you out of your mind? So let's go ahead and jump straight into this video and break it down, because you know how I love to do. So this is on a government website. I will leave the link in the description for you. The current political climate with regards to abortions in the United States, along with the economic recession, may be affecting women's reasons for seeking abortions, warranting a new investigation into the reasons why women seek abortions. Now, I'm not going to read the whole entire article because, as I always say, you have to go out there, find the information yourself. There is no excuse nowadays. Okay, we have many resources that you can utilize when you do researches. Okay, there's no excuse. Go out there, find that information yourself, and I will help you out by leaving the links to the description in this video. So results, women's reasons for seeking an abortion fell into 11 broad themes. The predominant theme identified as reasons for seeking an abortion included financial reasons at 40%, timing at 36%, partner-related reasons at 31%, and the need to focus on other children at 29%. Most women reported multiple reasons for seeking an abortion, crossing over several themes at 64%. So the conclusion for this: study findings demonstrate that the reasons women seek abortions are complex and irrelatable, similar to those found in previous studies. While some women stated that only one factor that contributed to the desire to terminate their pregnancies, Others pointed to many factors. So it's important that policymakers consider women's motivations for choosing abortion, as decisions to support or oppose legislative could have profound effects on the health, social economic outcomes, the life trajectories of women facing unwanted pregnancies. Okay, so this is on foreignpolicy.com. I will leave the link in the description of the video. I'm not going to read the whole entire article. I'm going to read pieces of the article. So again, the link will be in the description of the video. So what actually happens when a country bans abortions? The restrictive abortion laws currently being considered in the United States don't need to look to a fiction story for examples of where these types of laws can lead. For decades, communist Romania was a real life test case of what can happen when a country outlaws abortions entirely, and the results were devastating. In 1966, the leader of Romania, Nicolae, outlawed access to abortions and contraceptive in a bid to boost the country's population. In short term, it worked. In the year after it was enacted, the average number of children born to Romanian women jumped from 1.9 to 3.7. But the birth rates quickly fell again as women found ways around the ban. Wealthy urban women were sometimes able to bribe doctors to perform abortions, or they had contraceptive IUDs smuggled in from Germany. Romania's low-income women and disadvantaged groups, which abortion rights advocates in the United States fear would happen if the Alabama law came into force. As a last resort, many Romanian women turned to home and back alley abortions. And by 1989, that was not that long ago, people, okay? 1989, an estimated 10,000 women had died as a result of unsafe procedures. The real number of deaths might have been much higher, as women who sought abortions and those who helped them face years of imprisonment if caught. Maternal mortality skyrocketed, doubling between 1965 and 1989. Sometimes a woman couldn't even tell her husband or best friend that she wanted to have an abortion, as it would put them at risk as well. Academic researcher and co-founder of the Front Association, a Romanian feminist group, and the Feminist Romanian website. For many women, sexuality represented a fear and not part of life that could be enjoyed. Another consequence of Romania's abortion ban was that hundreds of thousands of children were turned over to state orphanages. When the communism collapsed in Romania in 1989, an estimated 170,000 children, okay, were found warehoused in filthy orphanages, having previously been hidden from the world. Images emerged of sick, thin children, many of whom had been beaten, abused, some left shackled to metal bed frames. Okay, people, let that shit sink in. Let that shit sink in. We have to think about the bigger picture and how this impacts not just us, but all of the future generations, all of our legacies. How this impacts our legacies. Not to mention, we live in a society who is constantly preying on children, people, okay? Now think about this setup. Having this ban, and think about that number, 170,000 children. And that's probably not even counting them all. Imagine all of the ones that got swept underneath the rug and never got accounted for. because we do live in a society where kids are preyed on. Okay? Kids are trafficked. Kids are abused. So again, you can check out this article yourself. I will leave it in the description of the video. It's on foreignpolicy.com. So let's go ahead and continue on. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this up for a little bit so you guys can just see the numbers of the population growth, which really and truly was not that much. It's like in the Philippines. They grew 1.5%. Egypt, 1.8%. Iraq, 2.73%. Okay? The list keeps going. You can check this out on World Population Review. Okay? Countries where abortion is illegal. Lots of information. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read off these numbers for race in correlation to abortion. This is on kff.org. So Alabama, for whites, it's at 36%, blacks, 60%, other, 4%. Alaska, 62% for whites, 8% for blacks, 30% for other. Arkansas, 49% for whites, 51% for blacks, 0% for other. Colorado, 67% for whites, 9% for blacks, 24% for other. Delaware, 51% for whites, 43% for blacks, 6% for other. District of Columbia, 19% for whites, 76% for blacks, 5% for other. Georgia, 28% for whites, 66% for blacks, 6% for other. Hawaii, 28% for whites, 4% for blacks, 68% for other. Idaho, 89% for whites, 2% for blacks, 8% for other. Indiana, 57% for whites, 30% for blacks, and 13% for other. Iowa, 72% for whites, 15% for blacks, 13% for other. Kansas, 60% for whites, 22% for blacks, 18% for other. Louisiana, 30% for whites, 62% for blacks, 8% for other. Maine, 86% for whites, 6% for blacks, 8% for other. Massachusetts, 50% for whites, 17% for blacks, 33% for other. Michigan, 45% for whites, 50% for blacks, 4% for other. Minnesota, 55% for whites, 25% for blacks, 20% for other. Mississippi, 20% for whites, 78% for blacks, 2% for other. Missouri, 49% for whites, 44% for blacks, 8% for other. Montana, 88% for whites, 1% for blacks, 10% for other. Nebraska, 67% for whites, 18% for blacks, 15% for other. New Jersey, 40% for whites, 41% for blacks, 19% for other. North Carolina, 40% for whites, 55% for blacks, 5% for other. North Dakota, 70% for whites, 12% for blacks, 18% for other. Ohio, 52% for whites, 42% for blacks, 7% for other. Oklahoma, 61% for whites, 19% for blacks, 20% for other. Oregon, 80% for whites, 7% for blacks, 14% for other. Pennsylvania, 50% for whites, 42% for blacks, 8% for other. Rhode Island, 77% for whites, 17% for blacks, 6% for other. South Carolina, 57% for whites, 40% for blacks, 3% for other. South Dakota, 77% for whites, 9% for blacks, 14% for other. Tennessee, 48% for whites, 49% for blacks, 3% for other. Utah, 83% for whites, 4% for blacks, 13% for other. Vermont, 90% for whites, 2% for blacks, 7% for other. Virginia, 41% for whites, 45% for blacks, 14% for other. West Virginia, 85% for whites, 14% for blacks, 2% for other. Wisconsin, 66% for whites, 28% for blacks, 7% for other. So, folks, there you have it. Now, there are some states that are missing that don't report on that, but, you know, the numbers are pretty telling, and it makes you really wonder what's really going on. Okay, so seeing that we are discussing human rights and the right for our uterus to be free and the right to choose what we do with our uterus, I have created some t-shirts for you guys. So you guys can check that out on Melanated High, and that's hipriestess.wixsite.com. I will leave the link in the description for you guys to check out yourselves. Go ahead and show support and love by getting you guys a t-shirt. So we have My Uterus Isn't a Democracy t-shirt. We also have My Uterus, My Choice t-shirt. And we also have My Uterus Isn't Your Body to Govern. So you guys, please check it out. Show your love and support by getting you a shirt. Again, I will leave the link in the description. And until next time, much peace and much love to every single one of you guys.